Welcome to Concussion Talk Podcast. I'm Nick Mercer. This is day 9 of my bike trip across Canada. Day 9. Donald, BC to Lake Louise, Alberta. Banff National Park. 111.95 kilometers. Biking time 5 hours and 30 minutes. 836.7 kilometers total. Today was a friggin' mess. We woke up at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, so 5 a.m. for us. It was freezing, so we didn't get up until 8 a.m. We were ready to go just after 9 when Gogi realized his back tire was flat. After all of that, we weren't on the road until about 9:45 a.m. Luckily, the ride into Golden was an easy 25 kilometers with undulating hills. We stopped at a gas station for lunch and looked anxiously at the wall they call a hill coming out of Golden. So that hurt. At the top was the Golden Rim Motor Inn, promising soft water and a clear TV. Being the only real tragically hit fan from the three of us, I was the only one getting nostalgic. It was a short-lived trip down memory lane, but I had Gordani's voice in my head for the rest of the day. After the steep climb and the motor inn, there were a few more short climbs and a decent descent where Kinger popped his first tube of the day. Gogi had the pump, gave it to Kinger, and went on ahead. Gogi's knee was hurting again, so he bucked ahead of Kinger and I when he could, knowing that he'd be slower in the mountains. I stuck back with Kinger, and after a few minutes, the tube was replaced, and we bucked up the next hill, only to find Gogi waiting patiently. His tube was completely gone, because it was pinching through the tire bead. He told us that he'd catch up with us, or meet us 15 kilometers up the road for a break, so he left him with the tools and pump and went on ahead. We took our break and waited for Gogi, as we were just about to enter Yoho National Park. 45 minutes later and no sign of him, so we went back to check on him. We were no more than 2 or 3 kilometers back toward Gogi when we saw his bike and him in this lady's pickup truck. Apparently, he was just about finished fixing his tire when this lady offered to give him a ride up to us. 25 kilometers later, and King was back to popping tubes. By now, Gogi had decided to ride ahead with the pump. He was far enough ahead that he had no idea Kinger had a flat. Consequently, I had to sprint out to catch Gogi, tell him what happened, get the pump, and then race back to Kinger. After all of this, and a few more kilometers cycling, we made it to field, only to find the much-needed visitor info center closed. By this point, we were all tired. It was a bit late, and by the time we bought groceries and made it to Lake Louise, it'd be pretty dark, so we figured we'd camp somewhere nearby instead. There were a few problems with that. 1. No visitor info center. 2. No grocery store that we could find. And 3. The girl who served us at the small diner wasn't from there and didn't know where the nearest campsite was. We looked at our map and we thought we saw a symbol for a campsite halfway up the Kicking Horse Pass climb. We didn't leave field until almost 8 p.m. and it was dusky. The climb out of there was immense and we didn't see any tent signs. It was a mixture of dusk and night when we made it to the lodge at Kicking Horse Pass and discovered that, like it or not, we were going to Lake Louise, the closest camping ground, 15 kilometers away. That was an ironic little punch in the face. We had barely left the lodge, heading for Alberta, when we saw another bear. This one had some real size to it, and it wasn't moving. That waiting game lasted at least 20 minutes, until some cars stopped. A few gave us some advice and good lucks. A jeep stopped next to it, and the dog in the back seat barked at it, and it finally ran back into the bush. By the time we got to Lake Louise and got our tent set up, It was dark, not to mention freezing. Short ride into Banff tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get to see a bit of the town. It's cold, and I'm tired. Looking back 10 years later, I recently asked Gogi and Kinger what they remembered about the day. The first thing in Gogi's head was the bear, truly a decent sized one too, and Kinger immediately remembered how cold it was in Lake Louise. Both events were very memorable, but what I remember most was eating dinner, having no energy, and having to climb up the Kicking Horse Pass. I was listless when I walked into the lodge looking for camping info, and completely dejected when I came out with nothing. Then a bear. This day was not a lot of fun, but hey, we did it for the stories. Thank you for listening. Please remember to check out my website at www.concussiontalks.com, where you can find my ebook, which has these journal entries, and my blog and podcast. Thanks again. The music at the beginning of this podcast is by Ben Sound, www.bensound.com.